Last year, I lived a really scary story. It all started on the 13th of July 2018. It was raining cats and dogs outside. As for me, I was sleeping in my cozy bed when I suddenly heard a weird sound coming from the attic. So eventually, I woke up and went there thinking I was just imagining things. But when I entered it, I saw red glowing eyes. I was paralyzed by fear, while what seemed to be a living creature kept staring at me. So I tried to turn on the lights, but I was too scared to move. The monster started getting closer and closer to me, so I tried to push him away, and thank God it was just a nightmare. I was just sweating on my bed. But there were still red glowing eyes in front of me. It was a ghost! After seeing it, I got so frightened and I started screaming and screaming and screaming until my parents woke up because of me, came into my room running and wondering what was wrong. When I told them the whole story, they laughed at me, saying I was just hallucinating or something. That night, some of our neighbors complained about hearing screams coming from our house. So my parents told them I was imagining things. And just then, I started wondering if the story was true or not. Over the weeks, I forgot about it, until it all came back to me when, during the recess, one of my friends went missing without anyone seeing him during the break. We searched for him outside and inside, but we only found footprints leading to the forest. I volunteered to go after him, but the headmaster told me it could be too dangerous. However, I was stubborn, so I didn't care about his orders and went alone in the forest. As I was looking for him, it started getting darker and darker until it was nighttime. And suddenly, everything around me seemed to be similar. I was lost. Bad. This is bad. I started running without knowing where to go until I unexpectedly saw the same ghost I saw last night at home. I was barely walking back then because of my fear, but I still went backwards, and unluckily I hit a tree. The ghost, as for him, was still getting closer and closer to me. At that moment, I saw my life flash before my eyes, so I knew I was done. Just then, I heard someone's voice. It was my savior, a policeman. But the ghost didn't run away from him. Instead, he went straight to him and drank his soul. I couldn't let this opportunity go away, so I ran like a coward. I was still wondering why I couldn't help that poor policeman when I suddenly realized I was surrounded by shadows. And in 1 second, there were walls all around me. That was the last thing I remember before fainting. When I opened my eyes again, nothing around me seemed to be clear, as I only saw a strange red light below me, and everything else was dark and empty. Suddenly, I remembered every event from my story, so I started wondering, was I dead? I was sweating because I was so nervous, or maybe because the room was just getting hotter. Then I heard a voice say, "No, you're not, young boy. But don't worry, you will be soon. Ha 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 ha." At that moment, I saw everything clearly, and what I saw wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. I realized that I was suspended above a cauldron filled with lava. It was the end for me. There was no way I could get out of this situation. But why did the ghost choose me as a victim? My legs were shaking like jelly. I didn't even say goodbye to my parents. At that moment, Some light entered in the room. The sun! It was the sun! When I saw it, hope came back to me. The ghost might just be weak against it. Just then, the cauldron vanished into thin air. I got so excited for a minute, but then I heard the same voice as last time saying, "I'll come back for you." I went outside of the room. I was still in the forest. I was thinking, oh yes, another day without studying. My parents will certainly believe me back then. But when I luckily found them, they looked really mad at me. And instead of supporting me, they shouted at me and blamed me for disobeying to the headmaster, who was as angry as they were. I got detention that day. That's why I only got back home when the sun was already going down. And weirdly, there was no one home. I felt like something was wrong. And there was indeed something wrong. As soon as I walked into the house, the ghost appeared right in front of me. I thought he would kill me, but instead he just smiled at me and said, "Happy birthday!" And in 1 second, I was surrounded by members of my family. The whole story was just a prank. So shocked, so I said relieved and mad at the same time. "No, it can't be." My dad answered me, "None of it was real, we just used holograms. You asked for an adventure for your birthday, and here it is." "Oh, right, it was my birthday. I forgot." We were all so happy and cheerful until I asked, "What about the nightmare?" Intrigued, my dad asked too, "What nightmare?"